All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to talk about the life and really the incredible teachings of a very special monk, Luang Pho Dee of Wat Chaeng Phrom Nakhon.
So, let me start with a question for you. I'm sure many of you know the name Luang Pho Charan of Wat Amphawan, right? He's one of Thailand's most revered monks, but have you ever wondered, who was his master? Who is the teacher that set him on that incredible path?
Well, that master was his preceptor, Phra Phromnakarabovornrajamuni, but you probably know him better as Luang Pho Dee. He's this pivotal figure, but honestly, he's often overlooked, and his story is absolutely essential if you want to understand the lineage of one of Thailand's great Dhamma traditions.
So, to really get a handle on his legacy, we've got to start right there, with this crucial role he played as the master's master.
So picture this. It's 1948. And it's Luang Pho Dee who personally ordains Luang Pho Charan. And this wasn't just some ceremony, not at all. He instilled in this young monk a really strict discipline and, just as important, a deep sense of patience. You know, this stuff became the absolute foundation for all of Luang Pho Charan's famous meditation teachings later on.
But who was this guy before he became this huge, influential teacher? Let's rewind a bit, go back to his early life, and see how this whole journey got started. He was born way back in 1885. His name was Dee Chingduang. And really, his path was kind of set when he was just 10 years old. His dad took him to the local temple to study, and that was it. That early exposure just sparked something in him. It led to his full ordination in 1906, and by 1922, his wisdom and leadership were so clear to everyone that he was made the abbot of Wat Chaeng Phrom Nakhon.
When he was ordained, they gave him the monastic name Dhammapanyo. Now, this isn't just some random name. It's a description. It literally means one with wisdom in the Dhamma. And wow, was that a title he would spend the rest of his life living up to.
And he absolutely lived up to that name. But his wisdom wasn't just, purely spiritual. Luang Pho Dee was also a very practical guy, a real builder. He worked tirelessly to develop and totally transform his community.
So he's leading these major construction projects, right? Restoring the temple's main chapel, putting up new halls. But his vision was so much bigger than that. He started a Dhamma school for the monks, and this is huge. He built a public school right there on the temple grounds so the local kids could get an education. Think about that. He was building the future from both sides, the spiritual and the secular.
But look, as important as all those buildings were, his real, lasting legacy, well, that's found in his deep, deep teachings about the nature of the mind. This, right here, is the heart of his Dhamma.
And he had this amazing way of explaining it. He used this powerful analogy, comparing the mind to water. Think about it. When water's all choppy and stirred up with mud, like our thoughts and emotions, you can't see a thing. But when you let it settle, when it becomes calm and still, it gets crystal clear. And that's when you can see your true self, distinctly.
The whole goal of this practice was to reach what he called the Dhatu Ru, which translates to the knowing element. So what is that? It's a state of pure awareness, a mind that isn't yanked around by emotions, not affected by greed or anger or any of that stuff. When your mind reaches this state, it just remains unshaken, no matter what's going on outside.
And the great thing is, he didn't just talk about this high-level concept. Nope. He laid out a super clear 4-step path for his students. You start with concentration, then you move to being mindful of your body and mind, then you contemplate the true nature of reality, and the final step, you let go of all attachment. All that's left is that pure, undisturbed awareness.
Okay, so what's the lasting impact of this quiet master from Sing Buri? What is his enduring legacy? What did he really leave behind?
Well, his legacy really has two sides to it. On one hand, you've got the stuff you can't touch, his incredible wisdom, those deep teachings on mindfulness that got passed down through students like Luang Pho Charan. But then on the other hand, there's something very tangible, a single, now legendary, batch of sacred amulets.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Take a look at this number, 300. That's it. Only 300 of his very first commemorative coins were ever made. This was way back in 1930 to celebrate a promotion he received. And you can imagine that extreme rarity is a huge part of why they're so legendary today.
But these coins weren't just rare. They were also consecrated by some of the biggest names, the most famous masters of that time. They all came together to bless them, to imbue them with spiritual power. So pretty quickly, These things got a reputation for their protective qualities, for bringing safety and loving kindness. And today, they're considered one of the most legendary amulets to ever come out of the entire Sing Buri Province.
But here's the most crucial point, the real testament to his life. In 1964, at 80 years old, Luang Pho Dee passed away from stomach cancer. But in those final days, he became living proof of his own teachings. He faced what must have been immense physical pain, but his mind remained calm, peaceful, totally undisturbed. He proved his central lesson for everyone to see. The body might suffer, sure, but a well-trained mind doesn't have to go along for that ride.
And so his whole life's work really leaves us with this one big question to think about. What is the true legacy of a master? Is it the famous students they guide? Is it the rare, powerful objects they create? Or is it something else? Is it the timeless wisdom they lived by and left behind for all of us?